Welcome to Outside the Ring. I am here with my guest, the man that is always sucker free, Rodrageous, Rod Lee.
What's poppin', Av? How you feeling, baby?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic, 100% outrageous, and always sucker free, as you already know. I
Oh,
hope you're feeling
absolutely.
sucker free as well.
I am.
Good, good.
So, how would you come up with the ring name, Rod Lee?
So, Rod Lee comes from one of my favorite characters in Naruto, Rock Lee. And also, like, just kind of a play on my own name, Rodney. I got that from one of my best friends, actually. He was trying to make fun of me because he knows I'm a Rock Lee fanboy. And I was like, here's the thing. That's a perfect name. So thank you.
How did the Rodrageous part come with Rod Lee, or did it come later on?
That came a bit later. I was
Mhm.
Rod Lee, and then I was honestly super fantastic at first. And we kind of built on Rod Rageous over at Skull and Bones.
There you go. You brought up Didn't bring it up, but you said I heard you say something about Fro. Made me think about your alliance with the man known as Frogun.
Oh yeah, Frogan, that was my guy. Yeah, that's where Rod Rageous got to start. And honestly, that's where I became super fantastic. I met him down in Fremont, and the rest is history. We just kind of he took me under his wing, taught me everything he could.
How long have you been wrestling for?
Dude, I mean, I think it's about 6 years now, almost 6 years. I think it will be 6 years in May. May 4th is my WrestleVersary. So, and I started May 4th, 2019.
Yep, 6 years coming up.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah. Just thinking about all the vets I had on that I asked that question too.
It's one of those things where time just kind of flies by.
Oh,
And
mhm,
COVID definitely did help. Like
mhm,
couple years, like my first couple years dealing with just COVID shenanigans and having to deal with, social distancing and then limited crowds and just getting to shows was difficult for a while.
mhm.
But
How'd you,
thankfully, we're out of that now.
but how'd you find out about LPW down in Fremont?
So I was training at Skull and Bones, and I've been, even before I formally got trained, I knew people in the wrestling industry.
Hmm.
And one of which is my tag partner, Kenny Urban. And he invited me to go. I've been down there a few times and worked there. And I still obviously am tag partners with Kenny. So that was my foot in the door there.
So happy you brought that up. How did you guys come up with your tag name, Hunkrageous?
So, as you know, I am the Rod Rageous Rod Lee, right?
Hmm.
And then we have, the thing is, everyone calls us a tag team, but we're technically a faction because we have three members. It's Rod Rageous Rod Lee, the Kenny Urban, and most importantly, Goose. So when you combine Goose Nation with Rod Rageous, you get Honk Rageous.
Yeah, you guys have Goose. So you
Yeah,
are a faction. Oh man.
yeah, and I love Goose. He was
Mhm.
just calling me earlier, left me a very angry voicemail because I took a nap during the day and I missed his phone call. He doesn't like it when you miss his phone calls. He's a bit of a diva, but he's very caring. He's a really good coach too.
I've heard mixed things about Goose.
I mean, listen, he's a bit temperamental. Have you dealt with a goose? Have you seen a goose? You want to make sure you're coming correct. Don't don't come correct. They will let you know. They are not ones for games. They are not one for goosey antics.
Oh, well, I've dealt with one before. I'll say it off camera though. Oh, shut up. But what got you into this world of professional wrestling?
So I started watching wrestling when I was a kid. I want to say I was around 10, 11 years old. And I loved it. I thought it was just really cool. I loved seeing John Cena. Shelton Benjamin, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero. I
Mhm.
was a ruthless aggression kid. So I really like, I mean, even then, like I was a huge CM Punk fan. I'm still a huge Rock fan. Like those
Yeah.
are some of my really, those are my guys. And then as I got older, kept watching, I met more people. Um, then I actually ended up meeting a guy named Robert Lopez, who ended up opening a promotion called NOW in Toledo. And I thought it was a really cool idea. So I hopped aboard and decided to do it with him. And I was able to meet a lot of cool people who ended up getting me trained. And after I got trained, I was able to, continue on. And I've just been loving it ever since.
Right on. How'd you come to find out about NWCW up in Michigan?
Wait, which one? I'm sorry.
NWCW,
NW's
Northwest Championship
Northwest
Wrestling.
Championship.
It goes under SCW now.
Oh, right. Yeah, that threw me off for a second because
Yeah, I know some people know
uh,
it as the former and some know as current.
I know it as a current. Like,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
so many promotions sometimes that I'm like, what
Oh,
promotion is that again? And then you're like, oh, right, this one now. All right, cool. That I remember that they changed the name. If they
yeah.
didn't change the name, I would have gotten it a lot quicker.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, I've known a variety of people on that roster for years. They contacted me. Again, I was working with Frogun at the time,
Mhm.
and he said, hey, we got a booking up here. And I was like, bet, I'll come up. So I was over there in Berkeley throwing cracking skulls and keeping things sucker free.
Yeah. You actually had a tag team title match there.
I've had several tag team title matches there. I've also held their heavyweight championship for a total of 5 minutes.
What happened there?
Well, Frogun gave me a phone call, said, hey, I can't make it, but you got to handle business. So I got the belt. I went out there to handle business. Unfortunately, Onyx decided he wasn't gonna wait until the bell rang. He just decided to just jump me real quick, hit me with those two massive spears with those giant
Oh,
boulder-like shoulders of his. And then you understand how hard a man that size can hit you in the stomach, kid?
I can
Have you
only
ever been
imagine.
hit in the stomach with a sledgehammer?
No,
Have you ever been hit with a sledgehammer that's on fire?
no.
You don't want that to happen because that's what it feels like when you got speared by Onyx. I got speared by him twice. And everybody's like, oh, what happened? Where'd your championship go? I wasn't prepared. I didn't have a chance to prepare. Go watch the video. It's not fun.
Oh,
But record still shows Rod Rages, NWCW/SCW heavyweight champion. And no one can take that away from me.
absolutely. Do you have a list of favorite matches or moments from your career?
From my career, that's difficult. I got to do a spot with Fandango. That was pretty great. Winning my first championship over in UCW over in Saginaw. That's a good time. And honestly, and this may sound a little corny, but any day I get to wake up with sound mind, sound body, lace my boots, and go out there, it's one of my favorite matches because I get to do what I love. I get to wake up every day and enjoy my life. So I'm happy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. That's what it means to be sucker free, enjoying life, being grateful for everything you have.
Most definitely. Who are some of your favorites to watch?
Let's see. Shawn Michaels, easy. I feel like that everyone says Shawn Michaels. Shelton Benjamin, again, John Cena. Um, AJ Styles. I was also a massive TNA kid because
Mhm.
when I was when I was younger, after I just got into wrestling, I remember being at my mom's school because my mom's a teacher. I'd have to stay after school with her.
Mhm.
And on Fox Sports one day, I'm just flipping through the channels, and then all of a sudden I see wrestling, and I'm like, "What's this?" Why is it? Why has the ring got that many sides? That's not supposed to be like that. That's weird. And then I started watching, and oh my god, those TNA guys, they could go crazy. I mean, the fact that I've met Alex Shelley multiple times is still like mind blowing to me because that was one of my favorites growing up. Chris Sabin too. Uh, I like a lot of different styles. Like I like lucha stuff. I like, you know, big meaty men slapping meat. Like my comedy wrestling. I find myself to be in different moods for different things. Um, Also, just shout out Mick Foley because Mick Foley is just somebody that always needs a shout out. Trying to think if there's anyone else I forgot. Bobby Lashley, that was another guy I really liked growing up. Both his ECW run and his TNA run.
Mhm. And shout out Bobby Lashley, one half of your current AW Tag Team Champions.
Oh yeah, and with Chell Benjamin. So
Oh
there
yeah.
you go. Shout them both out.
What does it mean to you to be able to work with vets in this business, such as the Soul Taker, for example?
I'm a firm believer that you never stop learning, you never stop growing. So being able
Absolutely.
to work with people who have experience in the business is always great to me because it means that I get to learn something from somebody, even if it's, something that I may not necessarily agree with. I at least see a new perspective now, and I get to
Yeah.
learn a bit more about the, wrestling business. And I'm also a massive history nerd. I
Mhm.
love history. I love learning about history. So learning about the history of the business in any form, including from like people who lived it, it's always great because 5 years ago, that's technically history.
Mhm. 5, 4, 3 years ago, you can't change that.
Yeah, it's all that's history. And,
Hmm.
you know, it's also really great to talk to people like, again, my trainers are Brian Castle, CK3 or Crimson, and Trey Miguel, all of which have been in the business for like 10 plus years.
Hmm.
It's always great to like hear stories from when I wasn't in the business, just like how things used to be like 10, 15 years ago.
Hmm. And you, along with everyone else that is up at Skull and Bones, got to work with Trey Miguel and names like that. Look what Trey's doing with TNA.
Yeah, TNA has been a challenge for the NXT tag team championships multiple times now,
Hmm.
both on NXT and TNA. First person to ever do that. Sorry, first team to ever do that, the Rascals, because
Yeah.
Zach Wentz is also there. Shout out Zach Wentz. Much love to you as well. I don't know if he's watching this, but if he is, shout out
I
Zach.
doubt
Love
it.
you.
Who would you say are some of your toughest opponents?
Toughest opponents. That's a good question. Um, Honestly, when I had to work Kenny um, before we started teaming together, those were some of my more challenging matches because you can't really know what to expect or predict when it comes to Kenny Urban.
Hmm.
Oh man, you got me thinking more about my career now. I'm trying to remember who all the people I've wrestled. Dude, I get dropped on the head. I don't have that good of a memory.
Hmm.
um, I mean, obviously, you got Onyx because
Hmm.
he took my championship. Uh, the congregation, they're a pretty good team to have to wrestle. I
Hmm.
really, they're tough, but I enjoy wrestling them. And I know I'm probably gonna think of a bunch more like later tonight, but I can't really think of any off the top of my head right now,
Hmm.
or any more at least.
Yeah. One that comes to mind to me is someone you face down in LPW, being the Soul Taker.
Oh yeah, I mean I've faced Soul Taker a few times.
Hmm.
It's definitely not easy. It's definitely not easy. Again, I've hit my head a few times, and I'm not gonna say he's done it because I can't remember. But
Yeah.
uh, yeah, Soul Taker is definitely not an easy mountain to climb.
Mm.
He's definitely more on the Everest side than an easy stroll in the park.
Hmm. Now, who is someone you want to face in the future? We
That's
could
a good
go
question.
some independently, and then if you have any dream matches.
Let's start thinking. I mean, obviously, Trey is going to be on my list there.
Hmm.
I feel like that's a given. Trying to think. Let's see, because I would say I'd really like to work like Max Smith.
Hmm.
Yep, I'd really like to work him. Solo. I have beef with Solo right now. Actually,
Oh.
um, he's claiming that his bounty right now is 7 billion berries, and I don't think he knows what 7 billion berries even looks like, or you can't even articulate why he's worth 7 billion berries. So I'm gonna have to see him about those 7 billion, and I might have to collect them if they're just
Mhm.
giving out 7 billion berries on anybody and everybody. Um, let's see who else. I'd really like to face Papa Dingo and Shogun. That's the stone. Those would be two good people I would like to face.
Hmm.
And honestly, really, and I say this every year, and this is never going to change. Anybody and everybody I deem a jive ass sucker. So, and as for dream matches, I would definitely say AJ Styles.
Hmm.
Um, I think that'd be really fun. Um, that would be the top one, honestly. That'd be the biggest
Yeah.
one for me.
We're not gonna hear any Bobby Lashley's. We're not gonna hear any Sheltons.
I'd love to work Shelton. Bobby would. I like not being beat up too badly,
Hmm.
and they're in the hurt business. I could take a little hurt, not a ton of hurt.
Yeah. It's her
That being
syndicate.
said, yeah, that will hurt syndicate. Yes,
Yeah, her business
it,
and baby, get it right.
they will either way. They will hurt me, and
Oh, mhm.
That being said, I do look good in a suit. Maybe I can get them to let me join.
You never know. Time will tell. Hmm.
Time will tell. I mean, I have been on Ring of Honor before. Might as well go back to AEW again, right?
Yeah. What does it mean to you to be able to work with people such as Trey and CK3?
Well, I feel like I'm very blessed and fortunate to have such quality right in my hometown. Like again, you see what Trey Miguel is able to do on like weekly TV, and
Hmm.
he's no one ever questions if he deserves that spot for a reason. Every time you see him on camera, the one thing I always try to learn from Trey is the idea of no wasted motion. Because you watch him move, you watch him go through his matches, and you're like, man, he is everything he does leads perfectly into the next thing. He's here, then he does the next thing, and just it flows into his position perfectly. And
Hmm.
I just am so lucky to be able to see all that in person. And then again, having someone like CK who's able to just help with the character work and just kind of really push us to be the best, like, able to tell a good story in the ring.
Hmm.
And then also Castle is there to yell at me and tell
Hmm.
me when I'm doing things wrong and to tighten up, which is needed sometimes because in order to be sucker free, you have to make sure that you have not strayed from the sucker free path. And that means checking in with those that you feel you can trust. And that doesn't mean that you failed. That means you have to pick yourself back up if you ever strayed.
Hmm.
Because it's not party, and then sometimes the fall just looks really cool.
Yeah. How'd you get to wrestling for IWR?
I've been helping out. I showed up, helped out with the ring and everything. Rhino took notice and got me a tryout match, like a little match, and he was impressed with what I was able to do, and we just kept me coming back.
Going back, talking about the Rascals. Going back to, I believe it was Genesis, TNA, Hardys versus Rascals.
That's exactly what happened. I am very happy for them. Honestly,
Mhm.
again, getting Jeff Hardy, those are two of my like those are some other guys that I watched growing up that I was really, just captivated by that I would love to meet and love to work.
Mhm. And on the topic of Mr. Jeff Hardy, the first, well, let me start here. I found out about the independent scene before I found out about all the professional.
Hello. Interesting.
Yeah. But the first match I saw was on YouTube. Came up recommended was Undertaker versus Jeff Hardy. Raw.
2002.
Yep, ladder match.
Good match. Very good match.
Hmm.
Especially since, that match shows that there's beauty, like, that underdog story, that really him just going in there and doing the best he can, not saying die. Even after he lost, he was not broken. And that's very important
Hmm.
because there's a difference between losing and being defeated. You
Hmm.
can lose all day. You don't want to be defeated. You don't want to let that prevent you from trying again.
Absolutely. And when TNA was in Detroit for Bound for Glory, I was able to meet both Jeff and Matt.
Jealous.
You want the first one?
Dude, that's dope. And you're holding the titles? Okay.
Yeah,
I
it
see
was the
you.
same night they won them. So
There
just,
you go.
and it was the first time I saw them live too. So just seeing, man.
Well, I'm happy for you, man. I haven't gotten to meet them yet, but I would honestly love to.
And then came a little bundle deal signed.
Nice. Make sure you don't delete that picture.
I don't think, I don't think I can. Uh, and then going back with Taker,
Nice. I dig it. I dig it. Where'd you get that one?
huh?
Where'd you pick that one up?
I
Or
got it for
did
my birthday 1 year,
nice.
around the same time I started watching.
Nice. Well, that's a good gift.
Oh, it was that, and then ooh, I got this other one. Uh, same time as the Taker one, another signed Jeff
Nice.
US
Nice.
title.
Yep. US title is actually one of my favorite WWE championships.
Me too.
It helps that when I started watching, John Cena was US champion, and that's like I just thought the belt looked cool, and I liked the spinner belt.
Mm. And then he took that when he won the WWE title.
I like that spinner belt too. I
Hmm.
did. I
Oh,
don't.
I dug it too.
Yeah, I don't know if they should have kept it as long as they did, but I did like it.
Hmm. So did I. And then going back through here, I've the first, but the first pro wrestling event I went to was SummerSlam 23
Nice
when
over
they
up in
had it in Detroit.
Ford Field. I was there.
Yeah. And then Well, first off, I got this commemorative ticket
Nice.
mailed to
Very
me.
shiny.
Oh yeah. And then I went with my dad. On our way out, they had all those C4 stuff, like the W branded C4s.
Oh, nice.
So I picked
You might as well grab one.
this. Oh, they're all just sitting right here, so they're easy to grab. That one, I don't want you to fall. I got uh, just both of them they had out there.
Nice. Did you drink them?
No.
Oh, you feel saving them? Nice.
Yeah. And then Bound for Glory, we stopped at a gas station afterwards, and I found this other one and some
Oh,
guava.
oh wow. That's random. Yeah, yeah. Might as well grab that too.
Oh yeah. So now I've got all of them. They're just sitting my with my collection of stuff over here. I got some box action figures that are extra or like duplicates.
Nice,
But I'll show
nice.
this one off real quick. This before he was the Undertaker.
Me and Mark Callis. Yep.
Yeah, Mean Mark. I found that
Not a nice guy.
randomly at a Target.
Sometimes you find like the best pulls at random targets. That's why I always
Oh.
stop by the toy section before I go.
hmm Every time I'm by, either I'm up there or just here where I live, I also like stop by, see what they may have. But besides that, that's all I got for you. Thank you for your time.
Not a problem, man. Thank you for having me. And remember, stay sucker free.
Absolutely. You have a good one.
You too.